What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of Just Parenthings. A few episodes before, we don't know when the launch schedule is, but we had Paul, where he was talking about his side of the blended family, and now we have his wife-to-be, Leila, to talk about her side of raising a blended family. How exciting is it to have another chance to choose a husband?
Wow. Girl, that's a very
Damn
good
exciting,
question.
right?
Wow. It's a very interesting question. Actually, I wasn't excited. Because I was having it's funny, I was having this conversation with my ex earlier. So he was like, so I said, are you gonna get married again? And stuff. He was like, no, I'm never ever gonna get married again. Right? And he was like, what about you, right? You guys gonna have a kid, you guys gonna get married and stuff. And then with Paul, it was like, oh, everyone's like, when's the wedding? When's the big party and everything? But when we met and once we realized that this was serious, we were both like, we don't want to have a wedding. Because it's for show.
Yeah.
It's for ego. Right? It's to, raise your ego and have people like stroke your ego, and also for people's ego because, oh, I'm attending Paul Foster's wedding, and stuff. But we didn't really want that in our lives. It was not something that we both wanted. And that's also where we were very aligned, So I wasn't looking to get married again. Finding a father for a stepfather, a role model for my other kids, yes, for sure. And also, I always wanted more kids. And one of the reasons why the divorce happened was also because my ex didn't want any more kids. Having known before marrying me that I wanted at least 3 or 4.
Okay.
So that was also another reason why. I mean, side note.
I mean, that's exciting lah. Like,
Yeah.
I mean, especially as a woman, like, oh, I can carry another man's child. Hey, listen, now I can choose.
What is going on?
Now I have the freedom. Hey, very different. What? If you're married, you cannot choose. Like, you only can carry one person's child, right? Because you're married.
And guys, this is the difference between men and women.
Yeah. That doesn't go through our heads.
Now that you are divorced, right? Right? Now you have the options. You can go like, whose child do I want to carry next?
That one can go sperm bank.
Basically,
I think the sperm bank is easier to pick.
what Dew is saying is now you can be like, oh, who do I want to
Yeah.
Not so much carry
which
the
you also
child.
said
It's
is
like,
exciting. Hey, I
I
get
can
you,
go
fam.
out and play now. I'm not married. I want this guy. Let's go.
Fun what? No, man.
It's fun.
It's
Nothing
fun.
to do with carrying the child though.
But the same as men sometimes, which I think there's a lot of misconception around women. When we right, we also don't necessarily attach emotions. Some right, a lot of people have this like, oh, women one time and like I want to marry him, but actually, I don't think so.
Sorry, girl, I'm on a different wavelength. Are we on the same page? Because when I sleep with someone, I'm like, yep, I'm gonna marry you.
I don't know.
Really?
I got married at 19 and it's been one guy only, so I don't know.
Boring.
Nah,
I think
you can take some advice.
This is not government friendly.
Now, like, I guess you can reference what a bad relationship is or what a bad marriage is, and then you can remove the parts where you're like, this reminds me of my ex-husband or why we argue about.
Yeah, exactly. So this was what a few of my divorced mom group friends that were talking about, like the PTSD of a divorce, So one of my friends was saying like, oh, some certain things that trigger her, she immediately switches over into like, I'm sorry, because that was her marriage her whole time, right? So she goes very quickly into the shell of like, oh, I'm sorry. And she said, what about you? So she asked me, and it's funny that you brought this up because it happened a few months ago. And I thought for a while, I was like, no, I didn't have any PTSD. What are you talking about? But I knew there was PTSD because there is always something that people don't really bring up, or it's suppressed by your brain or your subconscious or whatever. And I think that part of the fear is exactly that, the red flags. So poor Paul, when we were dating in the initial stage, every little thing that could be a red flag, I'm like, oh no, like, no, I don't want this, like, you know, and I start to pull away. Or I'm like, oh, you did this, so it means it could spiral into this or snowball into this. So I start spiraling, and he's like, oh my God, it's like this thing, but you've made it this thing, right? And I'm like, yeah, but it started here, and I should have recognized it in my first marriage, right? And I didn't, and then it became this. So, and I'm very blessed because he was willing to work through it with me. And I mean, if he didn't, then it's okay. Then it's
Another guy,
right?
But how do you make sure, like, because it's a very touchy topic, right? It's like you are telling him about your traumas from your ex-husband, and I guess if a girl tells me that, as a guy, I will try my best not to be that.
Exactly. But the thing is, I approach it in the sense where it's not, I don't want you to be that, but these are red flags of a relationship.
Your red flags lah, or what you...
No. So in general, so like communication or shutting down or avoiding conflicts or whatever. These are starting like flags that you can really kind of see, or like little things like boundaries, you know, drawing boundaries and stuff, which I started to be very. Since getting a divorce, I've started to draw my boundaries, right, with friends, with families, and then finding someone that you really want to be with and drawing boundaries with friends, like flirty texts or whatever, you know.
Oh wow, okay, I didn't get it. Like I think both of us were like, oh, friends, yeah. Oh.
Or like friends who are too good looking, but then like, why are they in your lives? Like, oh, was there some previous relationship before, or could happen, might happen,
Could have been.
shoulda, woulda, coulda, you know? And then, and then you're like, okay, so why are these people still in your lives? Like, are you like really close friends or what, you know? And both sides, me and him, we both like, okay, that is a fair point, you know, and want to keep the energy in the family versus going out, right?
Yeah.
And so things like that, right? That's the flags, not in terms of my red flags, but in terms of in general, these are what makes a strong relationship.
Yeah, or this can what destroy a marriage.
Exactly.
Let's settle that first.
Exactly.
Oh, that's interesting. And so from Paul's side also, there's one he mentioned that the first time meeting your kids, he mentions like, oh, beautiful. Your side. Was it really that beautiful? Oh, like, how was you feeling? Were you scared?
I didn't plan it.
So you just happened to be there lah.
I didn't plan. No. Okay, let me tell you the full story. Okay, so he was selling clothes, and then I was having the kids that weekend because I was taking them out to explore the Singapore River.
Okay.
And we were still friends. So we were talking like, oh, he was like, oh, what are you doing this weekend? So I was like, oh, I'm taking the kids out. He was like, oh, I'm going to be in this place selling clothes. I was like, oh, okay. Like, do you want to come have lunch with us? Because you know, I'm in the area. Then he was like, oh, let's see how it works, right? So it was more of a let's see, you know, and then whatever. And then he was like, oh, and he got more details about the event. And he's like, hey, there are kids' activities and stuff. If you're nearby, drop by. So I didn't think it. He asked me to, there are kids' activities. If you want, come and drop by, you know?
He felt it like he knew it. Like,
He hinted it.
yeah, he knew it like this guy, I have to be nice, invite her.
So, so then I was like, yeah, sure, I have nothing to do with the kids. I were running around. So I was like, I always ask them, I give the kids some certain autonomy in what they want to do. So I'm like, hey, my friend's doing stuff at this event. There's supposedly some kids' activities. You guys want to go? They were like, sure. So we go check it out. And they warm up to him, and I was quite surprised because, like he said, my second Alex, he's quite guarded. So he's always observed before he approaches. But he immediately like got really close to Paul, and I was like, that is not normal. Like, yeah. And I was surprised because at that time, like Paul, I think he would have mentioned, there was no
Pressure.
No, not pressure at all. Like we weren't even thinking of being together.
Yeah. We was just
It was not even a seed that's planted in our head. We were just friends, like really just friends, you know, like not even like, oh, there could be a possibility or whatever. Yeah, so it was very clean in that sense, and didn't really think about anything much because it was like, if I would bring them here, I'm like, hey, meet Auntie Cheryl, meet, you know, Auntie Esther. Like, it would just be that. It would not be any like, oh, there might be like a chance that he would become their stepdad, you know? So there was zero pressure at all.
Then how did you plan to tell the kids that, hey, now I'm dating Uncle Paul?
They already knew I was hanging out with him more. So I still remember my younger one was like, oh, Uncle Paul is your best friend. Because I was like, oh, okay, that's a good lead in, but okay, because they knew we were hanging out more. And I've always been very open with them. I don't hide anything from them. Like, so I'm like, oh, I'm going out with this. They'll ask with who. So I'm like, oh, I'm having dinner with Uncle Paul, or I'm going to an event, and they were like, oh, who's there, or whatever. And they would see my socials, and they would see and it's not always. And in the beginning, it's just friends, right? So it's like a group of us, pictures, and then they will recognize like, oh, this is who, because they usually meet my friends. So I think when we finally got together, then I was like, oh yeah, so by the way, like, you remember Uncle Paul? Like you say he's mama's like best, or they call him my best boyfriend because I have a best girlfriend, right? So they split it that way. So yeah, I told them, I explained to them, I'm seeing Uncle Paul, blah, 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 blah. Dada and I have split up. So, this is what's happening. And they were quite understanding in that sense. And it helps that they already knew him.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
Without that capacity of him taking me away. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I get it. Because like to them, you are my mommy.
Exactly.
You are my mama.
Exactly. But it was never... But I didn't ever introduce them in the first place as hey, this is somebody.
Yeah.
You shouldn't.
I don't think so.
You shouldn't, because that was my experience.
Okay.
The first time I met my stepmom was my dad was like, oh, I'm going to marry this girl.
Huh.
So you should never...
Exactly. So
Yeah,
it
it's
becomes,
like
and then instant competition.
That or like, now I have to force a relationship with this person because you are confirmed my stepmother already, what? So it's like, it doesn't work like that. It has to be friends first. So I think your way was correct.
Exactly. So it was... But because my kids know so many of my friends, right? Because my friends will come hang out at the house or we'll go out together and stuff. So Paul was just one of the many friends. So there was no pressure, and for them too, which I felt like, but Paul and I was talking about that. I think if anything we did really well was the kids part. So there was no competition. There was no like, oh, this is my mama, like, and then now you're taking her away. Kind of just everything just fell into a flow.
Then did they ever ask like, oh, how about daddy?
They knew. We told them when we were splitting up.
Okay.
We sat them down at the dining table and be like, hey, so we just want to let you guys know that we're splitting up. So it was we've always treated them as young adults. And we communicated with them as much as we can, protect them from the difficult stuff, but also to teach them the adult stuff versus and be very open, which I feel is very important.
And I guess it's even more, the harder thing to do is like, okay, this is my boyfriend, easy. Now this is gonna be your father. How did that conversation go?
You didn't say? I didn't say anything.
I think there was no pressure to be like, hey, this is you're gonna call this guy a fool.
Yeah, there was never a pressure. So I always said, it's up to you. If you feel like he loves you and he treats you like a father, then it's up to you what you want to call him. It doesn't matter. Calling is just a tag. It's how you feel, really, and he really loves them. Like the kids love them. Like they will be like, I love you, like to him, which is very cute.
I do want to ask though, like, how did the kids take the news of you and your ex-husband splitting up? Because considering that they are much older, right, compared to Elleria, and they're very aware at that age, I'm sure it was hard.
My older one is fine. My older one was like, yay, I get 2 daddies. Which like my ex was like, oh my God, you only have one dad. Like, he was very like specific.
At that point of time,
I know.
when you weren't even seeing anyone, he's like,
I know,
daddies
he
already.
really jumped to that. So we were like, okay.
Knew is like, confirm my mom is gonna do great.
Not 2 mummies, no, 2 daddies.
Yeah. I don't know why, but they are very specific about mommy's only one. I think maybe because
Kids know.
I think maybe they know because you grew them, you created them. There's no replacement for that.
Yeah.
Versus, of course, there's no replacement for dads either. Like the very hands-on
I think the
dad.
bond there is stronger.
It's different in a way. This is literally created by you, like by us.
We carried them.
Yeah,
we
and then
carried them.
breastfed and everything, right? And we were there for the early years, which is the stabilizing years, right? And of course, the dads, but there's no replacement, but still, And my younger one actually cried. He was like, I didn't want you to split up. I don't want you guys to split up, And we told them, okay, we're splitting up. It's an adult decision. And the caveat and the promise that we made to them is the adults are splitting up, but the family stays together. Yeah. Does that make
Yeah.
sense?
Yeah, it
So
makes
I
a
think
lot of sense,
that's a very important thing which I feel a lot of people don't communicate that to the kids. So when they feel like when the parents split up, it means the family is broken. Right? But our promise to them is the adults are splitting up, yes, but family is intact. We'll always stay together. We're always family, and that will never ever change.
So how did you ensure that?
Oh, we stay together. We do stuff together. Like even though like now, even till now, like I just texted my ex. Oh, should we go do something the four of us on Sunday morning? You know, to lunch, and then the boys can come over back with me and whatever. You know, like just being very proactive in planning stuff to still do together. And in the beginning, we were still doing family holidays, the four of us.
Yeah.
So we went to like Phuket together, the four of us. We went to Perth together, you know, and stuff. So it's still the four of us with no one else. And that was very important to show them that yes, we've split up, but we haven't. You know, the family is still intact. Because I think my older one or my younger one did ask at some point, like a few months after.
They're much older already. They are not like babies, you know. They weren't babies. They are like people. I mean, they're at the age where they're toddlers with emotions. I wouldn't say toddlers. Actually, they are children.
They are children. They understand.
They are children. They understand.
So they actually did ask, like, so you guys talk about splitting up, but have you guys split up? Because you guys are still like, we're still doing the family stuff. So we are split up, but we promise you guys that the family's together. So I think that constant reassurance is like, oh, okay, I get it now. You know, like.
Actually,
That's so rare, babe.
And
I
it
don't
takes
think a lot of people
effort on
can.
both parties to make sure both sides show up for
Yeah.
the kids.
and in the eyes of the law, right? Must you guys be separated first to get a divorce?
Yeah.
Yeah, so we did. So the separation, like I said, it dragged on for like 4 years, 4 years.
But you guys were still living together. No, cannot, right?
We were still living together, but
You
I
can be
have
separated and
been
living
actually I've been sleeping with the kids since the past 9 years.
Oh wow.
So we were in separate bedrooms.
Okay.
Yeah.
Also, that's why. Cause
So
you
in the
didn't-
eyes of the law, I mean, we spoke to the lawyer. He was like, "Oh yeah, easily done. Like 9 years, like you guys not in the same bedroom, like done. You know, like even my closet is in the kids' bedroom.
So it did feel like a very big shift for the kids as well.
Yeah, I didn't think it felt like a big shift for them. Except now, like I'm not always at home when they go home. But then they come over and they love it. It's a new routine. Of course, change takes time, but it's a new routine.
Yeah.
And to people who are watching, you know, if you are thinking of getting a divorce, I do have to say with a caveat that when people ask me like, did you put in 100%? Did you try so hard that you like couldn't try anymore? And my answer would be like, no, I didn't, because I think I did maybe 95%, and I kept trying, and it reached a point where when I finally asked for the last straw of like, I'm done, all I said to my ex was, let's leave a little bit of love, a little bit of grace, a little bit of respect for each other, because we still need to co-parent. And I said, I can stay another 2 years, I can stay another 5 years, but it will get to a point where I hate you. And you are going to have the same resentment towards me. And it will be drop off the kids, and that's all the interaction we have. And the only people who are going to suffer are the kids. And I think he understood where I was coming from, and he was like, oh my God, that's like the most mature thing anyone has ever said to me. And he's like, I totally see it. And he's like, okay, we did try a little bit more. We did like couples counseling and stuff for a few more months, but it didn't work. Like it was more or less done. Because we have been trying, but it was just the communication breakdown, you know, and stuff. So yeah.
Wow, that's actually very eye-opening. Not giving your 100%, but 95%, so that you don't end up hating each other
Exactly.
and the divorce going up in flames.
Exactly. And that's why we still always have that respect, and we can still hang out with each other, you know?
Crazy.
Like
Which
you
is-
leave each other because you know it's better for each other.
Exactly.
Right?
Exactly.
And there's still that love there.
Yeah. Like I will always love him. He'll always be one of the most important person in my life, you know, because he's been with me for like 14 years. He's seen me grown and supported me and everything. But it just got to a point where we realized we're better off as parents, as team, but not as lovers.
Yeah.
And I would say for anyone going through similar stuff, if you really feel it's a point of like no return, then don't keep forcing it.
Yeah.
Because you're gonna start finding shit like people, the cheating stuff. Cheating is not a big deal. Cheating is a symptom of something that's not right at home. You know, you're gonna find like, I don't want to hang out with this person anymore, or like the screaming at each other or throwing things at each other and stuff. These are all symptoms of the root cause of like it's not working. And if you don't go to the root cause or call it off, then it will just get worse. And the worst is the kids are watching. If you have to.
That's the most important part. The kids are watching.
Yeah.
And I guess now you're
That's
raising
so deep. That's so deep. That's honestly so deep.
I'm sure like as a sorry.
Go ahead.
As a mom of two, right? Like leaving would have been scary at some point. There's so much uncertainty. I personally cannot imagine. You know.
I know. They are my world. They're not world, they are my world, right? And actually my ex was my world, right? Because I met him when I was still in college. So to exactly what you said, to think about leaving that situation or even saying like, oh, this current status quo is gone was probably the scariest thing I ever did, like in my life, or hardest decision I ever made.
And you got rewarded lah.
But it's so scary because it's all you've known, and especially since she got married at like 21, you were saying? Or you knew
I
him?
met him at 2021.
Yeah, and like
earlier
there's
on.
that sense of familiarity and
Exactly.
comfort for so many years, for 14 years.
Exactly. It is quite hard. And to be like, oh, I don't get my kids like 24/7, like, you know, it's like, what am I doing? So that's why I think that maybe that's why it dragged like 4 years.
Because it's the mom guilt, the losing the person you thought you're going to spend your entire life with in a romantic sense.
And also like, I think providing alone in a sense for the kids.
Exactly. And so all that all came in, right? Am I financially stable enough to do this? What if like the judge doesn't grant me the kids, you know, and stuff. It was like so many things, right? So, but what I have learned over the years is to over communicate, even though it's hard. So sitting down and talking to the ex too, like, hey, so I'm worried about all these things. So where can we make it work, you know? And it's also because we still have that love and respect for each other that we could do that, you know?
Yeah.
And he understands. And at the end of the day, if you truly love someone, all you want is for them to be happy.
I agree. And now that you're raising a blended family, right? So I mean, like just now Paul has mentioned about his responsibility. I guess the biggest responsibility on his side is to be mature, especially with your ex around. But I feel like you will hold the biggest responsibility if anything breaks down, right? Because
Correct.
now you are the first to introduce this blended family thing because Paul is coming into your life, right?
Correct.
What does the pressure feel like, and what are you worried about the most?
Oh, it's hard. It's hard because I'm the middle person, you know? So really, the pressure actually feels like a lot, to be very honest, because you need to start thinking about not just what Paul feels, but also what the ex feels and what the kids feel and what I feel, you know? And when you bring all of that together, you're like, okay, how am I going to make this a perfect world for everyone? And of course, it's not easy. I'm very blessed that Paul is very accommodating. So most of the time, and he has literally like no ego, you know? So he's always told me from the beginning, I have no ego, you know?
Men like that are one in a
million.
in a multi-million.
I
man.
know, it's crazy.
I'm not kidding.
Yeah, he is. I'm so blessed, right? So with Paul, it's like as long as I'm happy, the kids are safe, kids are happy, it's fine, you know, even if he has to be like, whatever. But of course, it's a relationship tip, okay? You always have to manage the other person's ego.
And expectation.
Expectation, yes, exactly. Not just romantic relationship, any relationship, business relations, you know, friends relationship. If you are able to manage the person's ego, you are winning.
I can see how that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, because if you know them and how they would react to certain things and stuff, if you make them feel good, they would generally agree to a lot more things.
Yeah. Like, I mean, if you know how to game them, you know what's important to them, whatever. Yeah, I get what you mean. Yeah.
So, I mean, I'm not the best at that. And sometimes my realness and rawness do come out because I am that way. I push boundaries. I'm like, why do I have to do this? Like, why do I have to think of 10 different ways of telling you one thing that I can just say to you straight up, you know? So it's very refreshing. Side tangent, it's very refreshing to be with Paul because I don't have to think of that. Like, I don't have to manage his ego in that sense. But I still do in terms of the co-parenting, the stuff. So certain things I don't say bluntly. I will just be like, hey, so this is happening. Does it work? You know, is there a way that we can work around it and stuff? And then once I discuss it with Paul and it's okay, then I will try and manage my ex, you know, like, okay, so this is what we planned.
Never ends. The
And then the
mum nature.
mental load.
Oh my
It's
God.
the mental load, right?
Do you think this will end once you get...
Yo, dude,
guys-
that's a very boom question to ask a woman, you know?
No, do you think this will end if
Like
once
the-
you guys
the-
get married?
The mental load.
Yeah.
No,
It never ends.
women's
dude.
mental load never ends.
I don't know, because now if now you guys are not married, so you still have to, I feel like there's more to manage when
In
you
what
guys are
sense?
not married.
In
I feel
what
like the responsibility of managing your ex-husband is more before you get married. Because once you are married, I think your ex-husband will go like, okay, now she has to raise her own family. Let's leave, let her have more time, more everything, give her some leeway.
That's
know that
not
you're
up
not.
to her, ma. That's up to your ex.
Exactly.
That's
Yeah,
up
that's
to
true.
another person's
Yeah.
mindset and maturity level and
But-
their personal choice.
And I can't also assume that I would get that. And it's also not fair to him. Because I'm the one who was like leaving and getting married and having another family. But it doesn't mean that I don't have a family already.
Yeah.
So I also have to manage that. And it's on me. It's not on anyone else to manage.
Great choices come great responsibility. No, great power comes great responsibility.
Yes.
Were there any situations where both of them disagree and then you're in the middle of it?
Most of the time, if that happens, it's usually because I'm upset and then Paul is backing me, and it feels good because you're like, you know, and then like Paul's like, yeah, you know, I wouldn't, like, you know, he would just join in and it's like a nice, like, what one of my friends described it, it's like having a nice abang to, like, you know,
Right. It's just back up. lah.
gel with you, you know.
Yeah. Actually, now looking at it, right, it's actually quite a... Okay, here's another perspective of it. Okay, if I'm in your position,
Yes.
I'm dating Paul, I have an ex-husband.
That sounds so funny.
That sounds so
Yeah.
wrong.
If they fight, right, there's a very strong chance that Paul will leave me. You get what I mean?
No.
Because Paul will go like, you know what, I don't want to do with your ex-husband, and the only reason why I'm dealing with your ex-husband is because of you. We're done.
But why would he do that when he loves her?
Yeah.
I know, but it's another possibility. So if you're in let's
Let's say if there's no kid involved, I mean, there's less of a commitment or a lifetime commitment there. It's very easy for a guy to say, okay, I feel like this is not for
like
me,
too
or I cannot do this.
yeah.
I mean, there's always that possibility,
Yeah.
but I don't think Paul's
I'm not
like
saying
that.
he's like that, but I'm just saying,
No. There's of course
Yeah.
that chance. And I mean, if I were in that situation, and if I were
In his shoes.
dating someone who was married before and there were issues with the ex-wife and whatever, I'll be like, no, sorry, like no time, no space.
Yeah, because then it
Please.
becomes your problem.
Exactly.
Yeah,
and it's not my problem in the first place.
Yeah, that's why I'm like, wow, this is just another even though it's not my problem, it becomes my problem
Okay,
because
dude, just don't date anybody who has baggage, okay, for you.
Yeah, I think for him,
now listen, here's my I would, if in my eyes she is like 11.10, any of our problems abang take.
Yeah, exactly. So I think maybe I'm like that for Paul. lah.
Yeah, men are so simple. You just need to be hot enough. They will do anything for you.
I think
Men are
it's
so
not
simple.
it's not just hot enough. It's funny that you said that because I did see an Instagram meme earlier, like things a man would do for a woman they really love.
Oh, it's true though. It's true. When a man really loves
when
you,
a
they'll do
man
anything.
exactly when you really find the one for you, I'm sure you will go all the way.
After meeting Paul, I think I will take his direction in life.
Funny story about that. You saw Instagram reel. I saw a TikTok Chinese drama video where the scenario is like this guy just didn't love the girl. But for another woman, he was willing to do everything that he said no to that girl that he was married to.
Exactly.
Like if you really love a girl, it's not about how hot you. You just never met the girl that you really
Shut
love.
up.
I always tell him this.
Y'all don't know.
Don't.
Yeah, but it is the same. You hear so many stories like couples they together and then one wants a kid, the other doesn't want a kid, and then they split up, and then the next moment the one who didn't want a kid get married to another person that has a kid, and you're just like, okay, you know, it's like wrong partner, wrong time, whatever.
yeah.
And as for the right person, man or woman, you would do anything.
Let's flip the switch a little bit, right?
Okay.
Now that you have Paul, that if let's say Joe has someone he wants to marry, right? Do you think you'll be at a stage where you'll be also mature enough to go like,
Yeah, of course.
okay,
Of course, we've talked about it. So I think he went on his first date a couple of this last Friday, and I was so excited. I was like, I want to know more about it. Tell me, you know, and stuff. Not in the sense of like I want to pry, but I was genuinely excited for him because I do feel everyone deserves love. And as long as my caveat is always, as long as she's good to the kids, I'm okay. I think moms are all easy.
Yeah.
As long as you take care of the kids, we're easy. Maybe watch too many Chinese drama or Hong Kong drama, you know, where the stepmom tortures the kids.
I will feel like moms are more difficult because you're more specific on what you want for the kids. Like the dads will just be like, okay, follow your mom. You know, but if let's say now your ex has another wife, has a new wife, and then goes like, okay, I'm gonna do this for the kids, and then you go like, but no, like that's not right for the kids. I think it's gonna be harder for the woman than the man, because the woman make harder decisions actually.
That's
for the
true.
kids.
That's
Yeah.
true. But I think where Joe and I are like aligned is we've always got the same values for raising the kids. And we always communicate. So that's the big part. So don't lose the communication, you know, like the communication part is so important.
Yeah.
If you can communicate, you can really like,
Yeah.
Most couples reach a point where there's no communication left, which is that 100%, and then it burns up in flames. And Then it
exactly.
gets messy.
But if I were the girl, I'd be like, this is not my problem lah.
Exactly.
Let them fight. Like let them fight. It's not my problem.
Exactly. And it doesn't have to end up in a fight, but it just, you know, like,
Yeah, I think like what Paul said in the previous app, like know your place, right?
yeah, she
And
also has
have
to know her
that-
place.
Yeah,
Yeah. 100%.
and have that respect lah for the other party. You know, this not your kids.
Exactly.
And how amazing of a blended family would it be, right? If he also got married and then have a child.
And then you all go on holiday together.
Expensive tell you.
That's mad.
And then you have to decide who pays for our kids. Joe, like who's gonna pay? Because
Yeah,
you're
yeah.
obviously gonna pay for your own kid.
So it's very safe because I know he doesn't want any more kids. But maybe not with me.
Now he's having a lot of fun. He's like, who I'm gonna marry next? And your family.
Yeah, my family, right? Because it was always the good girl, you know, get married once, cannot get divorced, cannot this, cannot that, because there's always that taboo of divorce and everything, right? And I think for a long time I struggled with it. Like, oh, how would my godfather see me? Oh, what would my extended family see me? And actually, I was having a joke with Paul the other day, and I was like, hey, next Chinese New Year, how? Like, do I bring 2 husbands and all the kids together?
It's wild. Wait, but
So then what do you do? Wait,
I'm sorry, wait,
it's
wait.
past already. What do you do? You bought 2 husbands.
wait,
No, this coming Chinese
no,
New
wait.
Year.
I'm sorry. So even until now, your husband usually, your ex-husband, usually goes with you for Chinese New Year visits.
So even this Chinese New Year, I went to New Zealand with Paul on a 10-day meditation retreat because I wanted to run away, right? I mean, very honest with everyone, right? I wanted to run away from all the like, oh, what's going on kind of thing, because everybody can see on socials, right?
Yeah.
So I wanted to just have 10-day silent retreat. No phones, no Instagram, no nothing, like just me alone and Paul alone. Like, you know, he was in the male bunk, I was in the female bunk, right? But my ex brought my kids to my grandma's house with my parents. So he was still going, right?
Wow.
So I was like, oh, next year, what do I do?
Yeah, what do you do? Have you thought about it?
Not really, but
I say
just go.
just go. I feel that if anything is something to be proud about. I feel like people will only judge you is because they know they cannot achieve that.
And I think over
Yeah.
time
Or they
they will
don't
come
understand
to,
that.
Yeah, and I think over time they will come to accept it. Like maybe the first time would be a bit like, okay, this is a bit weird. But the second Chinese New Year, third Chinese New Year, it will be like normal for everybody.
That's true.
Yeah, and Paul is so smiley. It's like,
Smiley.
He's like 24/7.
yeah, he enters the house like there's no way your people will like hate on him, you know? I feel like people will be like, okay, I feel like there will be, of course, a wall. It's like, okay, you're new to the family and everything. But I think after a while, yeah, like,
Because I haven't introduced him at all, you know.
oh, yo.
Oh, yo, girl. Hurry
Then
up.
you need to have that wedding lah. When else are you going to introduce? You need to have maybe a small one.
Get the ang paos, right?
Yes. Yeah. Two time okay lah. The second time they woke up, they were like, hey, 2 time I give you ang pao. No, but how does your mom feel about it?
Oh, my mom loves it.
Okay.
She's so cute. She was like, hey, you know, I only have one daughter. She's telling all her friends, I only have one daughter, but she brought home 2 sons for me, you know.
Third, now it's of course you got one guy, one girl, and then
No.
now.
Oh, she got
One
husband
ex and one and
Oh, I thought you were talking about the.
Two sons, not
now,
grandsons.
so she was saying,
You are the Netherlands
she was telling her friend, she told me the other day, she was laughing. She was like, you know, I was saying, wow, I'm so good. I have one daughter, but then I brought
Son-in-law.
2 sons, you know, that come into the house. And because I both like one full Ang Mo, one half Ang Mo, right? So in their IC and stuff, they still carried my father's family name for the Chinese name. Yeah.
nice.
So it's still nice because I'm still carrying on the lineage, you know. So yeah. So my dad was also like, oh, okay, not bad,
And who was more accepting of it though? Who, like your mom or your dad?
I think they were both okay. They've raised me in a very different way. I've grew up pushing boundaries since I was young, and they've raised me always like, oh, just, you know, treat us like friends, but respect us like parents, but treat us like friends, tell us everything. So I never had curfew. My dad used to drop me off at Zouk.
Oh wow.
wow.
Yeah. He had only one rule. If you take your eyes away from your drink, you buy a new one. I'll pay for it. Yeah.
See, that's why I say stick the girls, stick with the father. In the episode, I said the girls stick the father.
But it has to be the father that is open like that. If it's the father that's like a stickler, you know, like strict, might not work. But my dad, you know, he's always very open, and he dropped me off a Zouk and he's like, oh, if you were done, you want to call me and I'll come get you. And I never had to be one of those friends who's like, oh, dress up like decent and then go out and change kind of stuff and then go home and whatever, right? Because I never had to lie to my parents. I never had to stink out. Because it was a safe enough space that I could always be like, oh, I'm going here, I'm going there. Because my parents' philosophy is, I'd rather know where you are and you are safe
Yeah, then you're hiding
than
things
hiding
from me.
things from
Yeah.
me. Because then if something really happens, I don't know where you are.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
And I think I've taken that a little bit to my kids also, like to create a
Talking
safe
about-
space for them.
Talking about your dad, how was your Paul and dad?
Oh, very
Meet
good.
up. Very good, ah?
Very good. They're very good. Then I think
Okay.
before he proposed in Australia, he also asked my dad for permission, which was very cute. Yeah, I
that's
was
that's the normal.
That's
That's
the
the right
Asian.
way.
That's the Asian.
No, Western also. Western
Yeah,
culture
you have
too.
to ask
You
the
have to
father
ask
for
the-
permission. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I thought like, you know, like if
Oh, yeah, the hand in
usually the
there.
dads will be like, you know what, how to make sure it won't happen again.
No, my dad's pretty chill. He said as long as, you know, you take care of her and keep her happy, then that's okay. I mean, yesterday I was having this conversation with my dad too, and he was like, you know, it doesn't matter what people think or whatever. As long as you're happy, it's okay, you know? Yeah, which is very nice.
Do you think, right? Okay, now back to raising a blended family, right? Do you think there's a correct transition though?
What do you mean?
Because I feel like introducing your kids to a new father and still having that father is quite difficult because while we talk about your side of the coin, right? Where okay, who makes the decision and everything, who does the kids listen to? I think they will need to make that choice for themselves also. And I think you need to ease them into it, right? Like, was there like a proper transition that you do, or you just went ahead with the flow?
I just went ahead with the flow. And I think sometimes people overthink it.
And maybe I'm
Would you agree?
overthinking it.
Yeah, I think people overthink it. To be honest, yeah. I think most people just think like, oh, how am I gonna plan this? But actually, you can't plan. Like, you can't plan
plan it.
this. Like, you really cannot plan. I think normal people don't understand until it happens to them.
Yeah.
Like this is a situation where you cannot plan. It just happens.
Yeah.
It just flows. Like you cannot stress about it. The more you stress, I feel, the more children can sense that energy.
Yeah.
But I feel like there are some things that you have to be a little bit more cautious or wary about, especially if, let's say for me, my kids are a bit older, right? Then obviously there's a lot of their emotions to handle. It's gonna be a lot more tricky. Yeah, like I can imagine Megan acting up, for example, or Kylie being very cold because, you know, it's a whole different person coming into their lives. Yeah.
I think I got lucky in that sense because Paul was always was a friend and he became somebody. Versus, I think if I were to bring someone home and be like, hey, so this is, you know, you haven't seen me in a while, it's because of this person. You know, that mental shift, I think it's very different.
What if they say, you know what, mommy, I want to go back to daddy?
Yeah, sure, go.
Oh, actually that will hurt Paul, that will more hurt you, right?
No,
I don't think so. I don't think so. But it depends on what context.
I don't know. Like, so for example, like now you are going to get a house with Paul, obviously, and everything, right? And then they're going to live with you, right? Which means
Split
that...
half. Yeah.
Yeah, so then what if they rather be with like one side or the other side? I feel like then the responsibility is even bigger for you because then you need to also manage your ex and like, you know, look, the kids don't want to be with you. Or for example, Paul, the kids don't want to be with you. It's just a big headache. I don't know how to manage that situation.
I hear you, but it goes back to, for me, like what you mentioned earlier also was like the child psychologist, right? Which is also what I work with a lot of parents also in that sense. When a child cries and you panic and you say, don't cry, or you get very flustered, it's not the child, it's you. So if they say something along the lines of, hey, I don't want to live here, I want to go back to daddy, or other way, I want to live with mommy, I don't want to live with you, the adults are the one that are triggered. The kids are just saying what they want.
That's true.
So if you truly care for the kids and you're saying what you're doing, which is I am thinking for my kids and I want them to have what they want, then it shouldn't affect you.
They just...
It's a very interesting.
That's a very deep thing that a lot of people cannot understand. They just cannot swallow.
But you understand what I mean?
I
get it.
understand why people cannot solo lah. Because like
you feel like you failed as a parent
you failed,
that
you failed,
my
and like...
child doesn't want to be with me, which is why I guess she's saying then it's more of how you are feeling rather than
what your child is feeling.
Yeah, for them, they might just be like, oh, it could. And if you really feel that way, you could also just ask them a very neutral question like, why?
Yeah.
Is there something?
Sekali is as simple as, because
yeah, that's why I have a
got
toy.
PS5. Yeah.
Oh yeah, or like there's my favorite toy is there, or my friend lives 2 blocks downstairs and here I'm away from my friend. It could be something that's completely unrelated to you.
Yeah.
Right? And then people overthink it and be like, oh my God, did I fail? What did I do? Did I do something wrong? Whatever, right? But I always say then that's where the communication comes in, even with your child.
And I think as kids it's mostly that. It's really mostly that. It's not that deep.
You know.
Yeah, because if I think as myself as a kid, like I want to go to my cousin's house because they got PlayStation.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I get to be with my cousins.
Yeah.
And like I can play soccer under the block. It's not about you, mom and dad. It's just
Exactly. Like I don't want to stay at home, I want to stay with my amma because why? My amma always cooks my favorite food. Okay. But when I come home, like you force me to eat this, you force me to eat that, I have to do a routine. But if I'm at my grandma's house, I can do anything I want and I have no restriction.
True.
Right? So it's more them versus like what you want. So I think that's where a lot of people get caught up on. Yeah, which is again we go back to the ego.
it is. It really is. But okay, what's the most exciting part about raising a blended family for you? Last question, by the way.
So fun because it's so fun. My dad's birthday, we all went out for dinner, right? And then the bill came, and then Paul and my ex both took out their credit cards, right? And I was like, wow, split bill.
Isn't that a dream for a woman?
I know. Then I was like, yeah, maybe I need 2 more.
So they really split the bill?
They split the bill.
Oh my god, it's so awkward for them.
No, it's not.
Because no, listen, in one's head, it's a responsibility. The other one's head, it's a maybe for Paul, it's like I still need to impress. Yeah.
Dude, you overthink a lot of things.
Yeah.
Until I think you need to stop being alone.
Hey, trust me, if it was me, I sit down and do nothing. Because I know the ex-husband is there. Brother, you pay.
No, but your future
But your future
father-in-law
father-in-law
is
Yeah, exactly.
there.
Now you understand lah. Then you say now I think too much. So for Paul, it's I want to impress. For that one, it's a responsibility. So it's
I feel no.
Another is I want to impress is I just want to treat my father-in-law.
Exactly. I don't think you want to impress.
Dude,
It's
And
a
in
bit
fact,
of
too
a
much.
impression.
And in fact, if you're talking about responsibility, then doesn't the responsibility fall on you now? Because you are
Exactly.
the
You
new
should
guy
pay
Not
for
yet.
to the family.
Not yet. We're not married.
No, but technically
No,
you ask
actually,
for
the
permission,
responsibility is
what?
for you.
Yeah.
You are the daughter. You are the daughter like father
but
now.
no, then I need Cheryl's new boyfriend. You need my credit card? Like,
Yeah.
yes.
But wait, I need to ask you this question though. Responsibility on her. But as a woman,
Should you pay for stuff?
no. That's a whole new topic that will get us cancelled when we talk about it. But I'm just saying, like, as a woman, you spend 14 years of your life with a guy. It's a dinner, like one dinner to celebrate her father's birthday in front of the kids.
Yeah.
Why should she pay?
No, but that's why I say
My-
for one
okay,
side
don't
is
cancel me, it's
responsibility.
my
The
point
other
of view.
side is like the other side is like, okay, I just want to prove and I want to impress. Like, okay, I'm proving to you that
I
I
think of it more like
Both people want to bless.
exactly bless,
Bless.
or like if you go out for a friend's dinner, then everybody chip in lah. But it happens to be just a little bit more people with a little bit more elderly and children that don't chip in.
sekali your dad also, hey, you're two, never mind, like, I pay myself lah. That will like end all conversation. The guys will be like, you know what? Paise never mind.
Yeah, so it's quite exciting that way. And our first blended family trip was fun because we realized that actually there's extra pair of hands. Like Paul's there, and if he takes the kids sometimes, then he does his own thing, I do my own things, and I take the kids sometimes, they do their own things. Like it was quite fun to have like 3 adults responsible for the kids, So I think that's where the blended family is. And if my ex to find somebody else that he really loves, and I hope that she joins this kind of stuff, which is fun because I would like to see the kids. It's how you model love and modern family in that way. And to them, what does that look like? It doesn't always have to look ugly,
Yeah.
I think that's the most important.
Do you think it will come to an end when the kids are older, where you don't need that much responsibility anymore?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, right?
Of course.
I think
They
that's
eventually leave and stuff. Even though I told my younger one he's gonna stick with me till he's 60, man. So he's like, okay, mama.
For now. You can tell them what you want for now.
Yes, for now everything is okay, mama. You are my everything, mama. So milking all of it now.
Because once I think like they are 25, 26, they'll be like,
They're somebody else's.
yeah,
No.
they're
Somebody
on
else's boyfriend.
Oh my god, the family damn big. Boom, 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 boom. And then like imagine he got married, he got kids also, that kids also got girlfriend. Wow, your Chinese New Year expensive.
No, but I think it's a daughter and son thing because she's got like, 2 sons, 1 more son. But if it's a daughter, I think it's very different. Like, I think sons, they always say in Chinese, like, sons will go out. Daughters will come home. It's really true. It's really true. Like,
I know.
it's just so true. Like, all the sons will just go out, but the ones that come home is the girls. Like, in my 20s, I spent more time with my family than I've ever did in my teenage years. But example, like my partner, his mom always tell me when like, 现在他住你家. Like in Chinese, he stay your house. He's not in my house. He's staying out. Like, it's very different. Like, I think for daughters and sons. But his sister comes home. Yeah, but I mean, of course, everyone goes home, but it's just like a joke, But actually, I think it's very real.
But I have some friends, they move in with the parents.
Oh, damn. But isn't it in Singapore?
I think in Singapore.
Yeah, because in other countries, like I
Yeah,
lived in
all the
Melbourne, they
kids
all
go-
move out.
all the kids
I
leave,
said,
yeah.
in US, they all move out.
Yes.
Malaysia, most of them will move out.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Okay,
most.
because they can afford to. In Singapore, you can't.
Yes, I think in Singapore, it's very high cost of living.
But okay, we've come to the end actually.
That's such an anticlimactic end.
Yeah, because I look at the question, I'm like, I finished all the questions already and there's nothing more I want to. Unless you guys got questions.
No, actually, I feel it's so fun.
I thought you had a lot of questions just now for me.
I think you answered all of them without me saying anything. I'll ask in private. Cannot say on podcast. Later somebody clip this and cancel me again.
But okay.
Try to.
Thank you so much, Leila, for coming and sharing your side of the story. We really wish you all the best. Like, I think that this is a a very
beautiful
different side
journey.
of human beings. It's not even about a relationship. It's like just human beings. Very different side that I've never seen before, and I'm sure a lot of people have never seen it before. And it works, guys. It exists. True love exists for the kids.
Yes.
Genuinely
Yeah.
feel so happy to hear
Yeah.
Yeah.
this
It's
dynamic.
very beautiful. Like it's so rare. It's really like 1 in a million, babe.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
But if you really both sides or anything, any sides, if you really put the kids first, it will make things a lot easier.
I agree. And with that, we've come to the end of this episode. If you guys have anyone you'd like us to invite, let us know, or anything want us to talk about, let us know in the comment section below. Also, if not, I'll see you guys in the next episode.
Bye.